Humans by nature are creatures of habit. A comfort level and constant progress are enemies arrayed against each other. Change may be risky or even difficult, but on the flip side, not changing could be riskier. Social distancing during the unfortunate COVID 19 situation is adding a new perspective to distance education. As teachers, we are already quite accustomed to employing digital technologies in our classroom to enhance our students' learning experience. But teaching online for many of us is something we've never done before. Despite all odds, it is very inspiring to see that many teachers are not afraid to accept this change, rather, are leading the new way, even though this pandemic has hit them hard. In conversation with Better Me Academy today, we have a teacher who's bracing this challenge with elan. She is an adept classroom teacher, but is teaching online for the very first time. Teachers like her stand strong for their students and for their institutes at the time of need. Dr. Manisha Bose is a lecturer at Assumption International University in Thailand. She has an expertise of teaching English as a foreign language. She also specializes in training Thai and other South Asian employees, collaborating with Indian companies or vice versa. She has taught in Mumbai and in Pune as well. She was given the title of Bharata Medhi, which means the Indian scholar, from the prestigious Chulalongkorn University in Thailand. In this conversation, we attempt to highlight how she plans and organizes her online classes, what tools and technology she uses, how does she keep her students motivated and involved, and also about how does she work her way around technical glitches and on conducting online evaluations for her students. Dr. Bose, thank you for taking this online interview with Better Me. Before we start discussing on the key points that this interview aims to cover, would you like to share how a typical workday is like for you?
So my day is long in terms of teaching. I teach almost every day back to back from 9 to 4:30 in the evening. So I am sitting in front of my laptop with my video on. It's like just any other classroom. But yes, I used to leave very early for work. So that is good that I don't have to, wind up my work. That has given me an hour or so something in the morning. So it is just a regular work place where I am dressed up as if I'm going to work, but I am confined to just one room. Though I start my classes at 9, I start work at 7:30 in the morning because we have a lot of grading to do. As what I'm teaching, it's an academic writing and I'm teaching English as a foreign language. So till I don't grade a lot, there won't be improvement in students. So that I have to do. And yes, doing it online is a big challenge.
Nisha, what were your preparations to implement curriculum to an online environment?
Honestly, Praniti, there was actually no planning because on Monday we were told from Tuesday onwards you're taking classes online. So university was very kind enough. The IT took care of it. Our class, see, we already had something called AU Spark where we were all connected with students. There was already every section we were there online, but we hardly bothered to use it in those terms. So overnight that was done, and university did everything. They connected every classroom to Teams, and so we were on Teams with them. And while I was, first 2 days were honestly very torturous. It was, for example, I have taken corporate training sessions like on Zoom, but it is nothing like taking a classroom on Teams. There, everything is done. People are serious and they're there to listen to you. You're there to solve their problem. But in a classroom, it wasn't so. So the first thing I did was I stopped complaining to myself that, oh my God, I have to teach online, because first 2 days made me very stressed just with the thought that I have to do this online. So when I accepted the fact, that's where I started, innovating things, started deciding. So there was actually no preparation, just went with the flow, and it just came naturally. So I think now next semester it will be even better.
What kind of topics do you do in online teaching?
Now, the topic that I was doing is something called memo writing. There are all current issues which are given to students, and students have to analyze and write a memo. So there are like two kinds of issues which are given. One could be cause and effect. One could be a project that's happening in Thailand. So it's very research based and very logical, where students are supposed to solve the problem, give recommendations using correct vocabulary. So making them, trying to tell them, come on, go do research, set your own paper, come back with some project, and then we discuss, we brainstorm. So these were the activities that I did a lot. Then another topic which we had to teach was argumentative essay. So it was, finally, by the end, I realized we did the same thing that we would do in the class.
Manisha, how do you ensure your students are participating in the class and are interacting with each other?
What I realized is keep them very involved, ask them questions, even if you're not seeing them online. So they are all alert, because students getting their attention is a challenge. So I kept the attendance sheet so that I do not forget their names. Right. And I ensure that in that class, all 30 were asked some questions or the other. That helped a lot. I made a line group. There is a very familiar app and very popular app called Line in Thailand. So all students were there online. So even if somebody was missing, I would send a message online and it comes there how many have read. So I use that more like a blackboard, where I would write the instructions there and I know how many have read it. So 20 have read. So I would ask, where are the other 10? Still sleeping? Something like that.
What do you think is the best thing about online teaching?
Best thing was that it continued teaching, and what had happened in this scenario, yes, Praniti, in this scenario, I think it was the best, because some students went to Hong Kong, some students ran back to Korea. So my students exited the country, right? And we all could connect up on all the class timings. Now, currently, as I talk to you, they are appearing for their online exam. So, which I have launched the paper on assignments to them. And Friday is another exam. So that was the beauty of online teaching, that everyone who had to literally, they just fled because of Corona. They wanted to be at home, like, every parent wanted their children to be with them. So they all, even while they were in quarantine by the government, like a student of mine went to Hong Kong. She was in quarantine in a government place, but she could talk to me, have all the classes. And I think what she mentioned was that because these classes were there, like, I didn't feel lonely. She was feeling good. Yeah. So there was kind of camaraderie in this, that, yeah, we are all here together. That was something, the beauty of these online classes, that it has not stopped and we are all still there connected with each other. I think that was an amazing.
Really. What was your biggest challenge while teaching online?
Was my biggest challenge, not seeing them face to face in a classroom where you teach English as a foreign language, where students, like, for example, Chinese students are not as shy as Thai students, and Japanese students are more shy, Koreans are not. So I have a class of mixed abilities, not only in different faculties, some are engineering, some are communication arts, some are BBA. Besides that, I also have to handle different nationalities, which was my biggest challenge. So what I did was, I couldn't do much, so I would give them group work. Okay, and every group, then I would divide them into a group of 4, and then the group of 4 would switch on the video and they would interact with me. Okay, this is what you have done, this is what you have brainstormed, how would you improvise these ideas, how do you work on those lines? And then again we connect up. So I try to make it as personal as I could. As a teacher, you're also not just teaching them, there's a lot of non-verbal communication happening. So you will have shy students who will never come up and ask a question. So for those shy students, you don't show them they're weak. You just go sit next to them, discuss with them, as you're doing with even the bright ones. So you can pull them up, because any language class, Praniti, is all about motivation. Motivating students to talk. So here my focus was more on online teaching. Things were all right, then you're making them participate as much as I wanted. No, I have not been able to make them participate because of this restriction. So I have done it because I had to do. Given a choice, I would still prefer a class which is, face to face.
Manisha, in online teaching, we are a lot dependent on technology. So, how do you handle interruptions or technical snacks?
So I use Line. So all my handouts, all my instruction were going online to them. Okay, so even they were submitting their work on email, we used Line to ask questions. So suppose there were also challenges where some students' internet would abruptly fail. So the student would let me know online, and all his questions were shared. And has also been a time where I would just say, okay, pause here, I'm doing a line call as well. So there would be a group line call. So I ensured that there was no communication barrier because of internet.
Yeah, Manisha, what are your thoughts on online evaluations?
It's there's a lot of discounts we will have to give in fair, the evaluation. I don't know how fair it can get. Though we are trying to have cameras on, so I was proctoring an exam, invigilating an late midterm exam where the camera was on and I was proctoring and the student was writing. Now I could not exactly see what the student is writing. So even if the student is, today having two phones is not a big thing for students. No, but yes, only thing is we have to have trust, faith, not treat them like little criminals. That's all I can see. And again, as teachers in tuition, when you read your students' work, you exactly know it's that student's language or not.
Right.
So you can discount as marks as you feel it's not that student's language.
Do you miss anything about offline teaching?
I miss, and I also miss that human touch because today children need to be counseled for a lot of things, which is a part of your teaching. The new generation, because my age group is about 20 to 23 years old. There are times they get very stressed because if they don't pass English 4, they don't get the engineering degree or architecture degree. So motivating them, keeping them on, although that was lacking, I tried my best to be available for them. But still, that kind of fun of teaching, the joy of teaching, I was missing it, honestly.
Manisha, do you wish you had any other tools or technology that you don't already have?
Just if I had them all in front of me would have been better. Honestly, no. Okay, Praniti, I would give you an insight. So I gave them a topic, where it was the argumentative essays. So I had to give them a lot of topics. Abortion should be legalized, prostitution should be legalized in Thailand, and stuff like that. So I gave them one of the topic. All the university should change all the regular classes into online classes. And I gave this in group of 4 to 120 students. You won't believe it. I thought the lazy ones would be like, yeah, online is the best thing that could have happened to them. There was just one group out of 120 students, only 4 students said they preferred online class. Everyone said they want regular classes. And this is the new generation, they're in their 20s and they want regular class. They preferred regular class than online class. So I felt that, okay, I'm not that different.
Thank you, Dr. Bose, for this insightful interview. We saw how Dr. Manisha Bose is incorporating indigenous ways to keep her students engaged. She substitutes the physical whiteboard with the instant messaging app called Line. Line also comes handy to her to overcome the technical glitches. She conducts ongoing online quizzes, group or individual presentations to encourage students' participation. She also admits that it is difficult to conduct an absolute fair evaluation, but constant and continuous grading helps in students' learning and improvement. Like many of us, Manisha too missed the chatter of a physical classroom and those subtle inputs, the stuff that helps you know that a class is alive and thriving. But at the same time, she appreciates teaching online and feels that it has many benefits, as it has helped her bridge the gap between her and her students due to the lockdown. Here's wishing all the teachers teaching online for the first time that when you're back offline, when you walk into your old brick and mortar classroom, that you are transformed for better in more than one way through the things you learned and found useful in the online wilderness. You might use collaborative documents in new ways. You might find new ways to access students' voice or allow students to show their thinking in new ways that they and you never could have imagined. Thank you.